Now, people oftentimes ask me, why blockchain for a business? I mean, what value does blockchain have that business can really use and help them along? I mean, businesses survive. They live and die based on returns on investment. Businesses have to choose very carefully where they invest their money in new products, in new technology. Whatever they choose to spend their money on, it has to be able to return an investment. Because if they don't, they go out of business. If they don't make money, they can't pay their employees. So why blockchain? Well, the question then usually follows up, well, isn't blockchain just a database? No, it's actually not just a database. And here's where it makes a huge difference in understanding that blockchain is much more than a database. It has basically 5 main characteristics that separate it from just being a database and give an incredibly disruptive element to the technology. So why would you choose blockchain instead of a database? Well, let's start with number 1. First off, the data is transparent. It is very easy to give people who join the blockchain specific permission to their specific data. So it's very easy to see all of the transactions that are pertinent to the transaction that you're following. For example, there's a seafood company on the East Coast, and they decided to employ a blockchain from the Food Trust blockchain from IBM. By doing so, you can go to their website and you can see where the fish was caught and see it completely all the way through its travels until it gets to your door, literally. And you can see the descriptions of each of those suppliers. You can check out and validate that those suppliers are honest and trustworthy in the way that they deal with your food that you're putting on your plate to feed your family. Transparency is the first. Immutability is the second. How many times have we seen companies like Enron cook the books or modify transactions? Immutability in a blockchain becomes significant in that respect. When a company needs to be audited, if their blockchain handled their accounting transactions, though the auditor would know that those transactions are perfectly secure because the blocks are secure through cryptography and can't be changed once they're written. Security is another disruptor. Security is very tight in a blockchain. It kind of goes along with immutability in that respect. You have distributed ledgers that are spread out among each of the nodes on the network. So each of the members of a supply chain, in that example I used with the Food Trust, each of those nodes in the supply chain that contribute to each piece of their part actually add to the security because they have a distributed ledger and they carry the whole of all the transactions. Even though they can't read them all, they have a copy of all those transactions. So being distributed adds to the security. Being distributed also adds to the fact that a nefarious actor, if they wanted to penetrate it and edit the transactions or change the transactions of the blockchain, would have to change every single ledger and would have to redo all the cryptography. So security is very strong. Consensus methods. Consensus is the process that when a transaction is sent to the network, each member of the network, through smart contracts and through validation techniques, agree on the validity of those transactions. And once they agree on those transactions, then it is added as a transaction in the distributed ledger. The next thing that I alluded to is smart contracts. Those smart contracts are ways to automate processes that allow the blockchain to go forward and process data without having the intermediary, the intervention of an intermediary. It allows them to take and just move forward seamlessly and process the data straightforward and allow it to go into the next phase. So let's list those things again. Blockchain is a major disruptor in the data management market. It has applications all over every industry that really you can conceive of. And that is because of transparency, because of immutability, because of security, because of consensus and smart contracts. Those 5 things are going to change the world. Thanks for joining. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll hope to see you again. Thanks.